Hello and welcome to a very special interview show for the Prode. Today I have with me Advocate Fuzail Ayyubi. He is the senior advocate at the Supreme Court of India and also the lawyer for the Tablighi Jamat chief Maulana Saad. So sir, thank you for joining us and welcome to the Prode Summit.
Yeah, I'm yet to be designated as senior, but thank you for calling me senior.
So you are a senior.
I'm grateful.
Okay sir, so I'll start by asking that how is the life for you during this lockdown as an advocate and how it is different from that of the normal days?
A normal day, we start with, of course, going straight away to the court, and then uh, that's a habit that for years and years, and then of course you go to your office,
Yeah.
and the first thing is to reach court on time and with the briefs and files,
Yeah.
and to manage that whether the juniors and clerk and everybody reaches there, and but so that fundamental first function now no more exists. So that's a huge change in life, and so the second aspect of it is of course the work, that engagement as a lawyer. I think because of just after the lockdown, I had a couple of matters which were there. I was lucky that they were in the pipeline and they got listed um, during that lean period of after holy holidays. So that kept me engaged. And then from 1st of April, of course, because of this Tablighi Jamaat issue, uh, I got engaged here. And so from 1st of April, of course, the things are in the normal course.
Okay.
Working every day almost.
Okay, so sir, according to various sources, Tablighi Jamaat is responsible for spreading 30% of the coronavirus cases in India. I mean, how would you justify this and what's your side of the story?
Yeah, 30% was the figure which was being given, I think, in the very first week.
Yeah.
And thereafter, it stayed there where it was at that time. And subsequently, in other parts of the country, unfortunately, this went on. And now today, the figures are, of course, very different. So that percentage and that question was right in the first week of April. But of course, it's a very unfortunate thing. It's a very unfortunate. It's needless to say that. And the leadership of the Tablighi Jamaat also was very pained and was uh, trying to come to terms with the situation, because it was their people who first got infected, then their family members, and they were the first one who were put into quarantine and then isolation and in hospital. So they were the one who suffered the most on the very first occasion. Of course, it was a cause of concern for everybody in the country.
So sir, we have seen a lot of communal news shows in recent days. So do you think that Indian media has done justice while reporting COVID-19 situation in India or not?
See, certain section of media has to become more mature over the period of time, and perhaps they reflect their immaturity to some extent. And this is about some section of the media, and I think that is very important for a democracy, that the facts should be presented. It's a right of the people to know the correct facts.
Yeah.
And those who are responsible to present those facts should be fair to their job. And if there is a dereliction in their duty, I think the controlling authorities should quickly step in to stem all this in the bud itself, so that this does not spread. But because of the lockdown, and there are certain things that perhaps the quick action was not taken, but subsequently action was taken by various authorities, police authorities, and then and
So sir, if you believe that
information of fake news was being.
so if you believe that Tablighi Jamaat is not responsible for all these things, then why are some members of Tablighi Jamaat still hiding? Why is it so that some people are still hiding?
You see, the hiding aspect, the leadership on the very first, if you look at the facts, that from 31st of March when this FIR was registered, and from the first press release that went out on 1st of April on their behalf, they called upon their members to please come forward and present themselves and uh, apprise the authorities, medical authorities, about their travel history, and present them for examination. But then, of course, this took time perhaps to sink in, and perhaps the message to reach everyone. And I think that the whole issue in the COVID-19 pandemic is that the entire country, or for that matter, it's an unprecedented, of course. Nobody thought that a situation will arise like this, where social distancing will become the norm, or will become a life-saving device.
Yeah.
So nobody thought of that. So I think it is. It took time for everybody to come to terms with the situation and to understand that. And perhaps that is the reason globally that the countries are not able to come to terms with that situation. We're not able to understand and comprehend what is the challenge.
Yeah.
And as soon as perhaps anybody got to have a clear view of this, and everybody will naturally fall in place, because nobody will like to risk the life of his own life or the life of his loved ones.
Yeah.
So the entire world over, and the authorities, medical and state authorities, they all took time. Wherever they understood it quickly, they were able to contain it. Wherever it took time, it got spread.
Okay, sir. Till now, there have been more than 31,000 coronavirus cases in the country, and the death toll is at 1,000. So, do you think that government has handled the COVID-19 situation well, or it has failed in handling so?
Yes, that is. In fact, even my clients, Tablighi Jamat, they have their stand that at this stage we will not blame anyone, and because we should understand this, that it's an unprecedented situation. Nobody ever have conceived that. So therefore, now to blame, like even the Tablighi Jamaat or the authorities or someone, that you are not able to do this, you are not able to do this, I think it will not be fair. So everybody, if you look at the people who are going around on the street, and the police are trying to send them back, and they are doing all sort of things. So who are those people who are coming out? These are the people who are not understanding the implications. So once they would have understood that what is the implication, everybody would. Of course, there will be some necessities which will take people out. But then I think all necessities, whatever they may be, but it is a question of life and death, which is, I think, far more weighty and far more relevant and important than any other necessity.
Yeah. Okay, so there has been a lot of criticism from Arab countries as well as UAE on the rise of Islamophobia in India. So how do you see this situation, and what is your take on this matter?
See, I little differ on this, that I don't think that, yes, of course, there are certain sections and all that. But then, in our country, that is a view that I always have, that in our country, it is the Hindus who do more for the Muslims than the Muslims for the Muslims themselves. So here people understand it. Of course, there are certain people, and that's a very minuscule minority. In every community, perhaps you will find them for ulterior motives or for political motives, whatever. But then the place that go in,
could you repeat this sentence again, because your voice is not audible?
Yeah, I'm saying that as the situation today that we have is an unfortunate. The point is this, that in our country, the people are far more together and integrated with each other.
Yeah.
So any phobia is a very limited phenomena. Yeah. It's a phenomena which is limited in certain sections in certain sections of media, in certain sections of society, it exists, but it is limited to a very small minority, I still believe.
Okay. So a few days ago, we have seen that FIRs were registered against some student leaders like Umar Khalid with regard to Delhi violence case. So do you think that this government is anti-activism or anti-socialism, and how do you see this whole thing?
Well, that is something which I don't have the brief, but since it's an, I think right now the focus should be as to how to fight COVID-19, and all resources and full focus should be on that only. And I think it's not a very good time to go running around people. But then perhaps there could be certain things which we don't know. But today, I think the more important thing for everyone, for the society, for the country, is to fight this menace of pandemic and to get out of this. And we are a very large country. We don't have even the countries who have the best and the most robust of the health infrastructure, they were not able to cope with it. So in our country, I think the entire focus should be on the as to how to fight COVID-19 with the strength.
Yeah. Okay, sir. So there has been a lot of debate on two-child policy in this because a bill was introduced by Rajya Sabha BJP MP on a population control bill was introduced. So there has been a lot of debate on two-child policy. So how do you see this whole thing, and what is your take on this population control bill? Is it anti-Muslim, or it is just to control the population of the country?
See, the discussions should be on the merit, and before attributing any aspersions, casting aspersion or attributing motives, I think first let's thrash out the issues and the fine points in that, and nothing should be dismissed on this ground alone. That okay, it is anti this and anti that. So it should be first discussed on merits of the proposal, and then only I think it should be decided rather than being decided on the aspect that whether it is in favor of anyone or against anyone.